What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to go over some quick analysis on the current landscape of things in the market. It's been quite choppy, and I think today is a better time than any to go over what has happened. Make sure to sign up and trade with me on Blofin today. By doing so, you'll get access to all my bots and trading tools that I use on a daily basis to be a profitable trader. I'm going to leave all my links in the description down below. Now let's jump into the video. We're going to start off here with BTC, guys. I want to go over what has happened, the levels we lost, and what I think is going to happen. You see here, we're floating close to this candle wick. I think there's a chance and a shot that BTC goes for that wick. If not, holds very, very close to the lows of the current painted lows that we made yesterday. I want to point out these highs right back here on BTC at around that 99,000 mark. When we broke up the first time around, this was a significant high to flip before we eventually rejected it and then went even lower, before eventually coming back up and breaking back above, retesting once and painting new all-time highs. This is an important level for me for that reason, and that's the exact level that we retested around, if not retested right on. We did, however, again, front run these lows that we painted before. And for me, those are levels of interest. Not sure how quickly they retest, but I am looking for shorts relatively soon. I do think that under this 108K level is pretty brutal for BTC. We lost a significant level of demand. You gotta assume that people are willing to bid here, which they were previously. We painted new all-time highs here, and then we retested and rejected this one-day structure before eventually rejecting like we did yesterday. It's important to pay attention to what's happening on the higher time frame so you can make some lower time frame decisions and lower time frame bets. And that's what we're doing here today on the top down. Have not yet looked at BTC today, so this is fresh in my vision as well. Did not really look after yesterday's price action. The one day we did sweep below this candle here, this 1010 wick, and closed above it. So we did technically print an SFP. I assume the reasoning we're seeing a pump today is that people are entering on confirmation. We are seeing signs of spot not sell on Binance as well. So for sure, seeing low influx on that is definitely helping with this pump here, as well as we're seeing shorts getting squeezed to the upside. I think all that's playing a factor today. I think that we can for sure target a drop down lower. And that's what I'm going to be looking for here, especially not in a position. I think that anywhere towards these lows is an area of interest for me. So this is where I'll be targeting for a short, whether it be closer down to these lows at around 105.2 up to 106.2. I want to see a reaction. I want to see how price starts to react there intraday before I make a decision for that. Not really looking to place limits, but as far as higher time frame goes, we retested a really big level that I pointed out here in 98.8. We also closed back above the 1010 wick on yesterday's sweep and closed back above. So this is the SFP confirmation, as well as the low influx of spot selling on Binance, as well as shorts being squeezed from the move down. Naturally so. People are going to try to short aggressively. People aren't covering. People are going to try to long aggressively, get wiped out. We also have this 3-day level of demand down here at around 93,009. I don't think anything's off the table. I think it's important to look at every scenario and everything that could possibly happen. Just because a drop down happened and we're recovering from it does not mean that it's the bottom of the market. And if it is what it is. We'll find other entries on a flip above 108,000, right? But now I think you get sufficient information to kind of short here if we do get a push up higher. We are at 4-hour supply when I do scroll onto a lower time frame than the one day. And we are looking to flip that level above. We do have 4-hour demand located around that 1 day open. And these, to me, guys, we have 3 logical positions here. You enter along here aggressively on the flip, assuming that we're just gonna flip out of this level with your invalidation at around this wick or slightly below, maybe the candle here on the 4-hour. You get a pullback entry to that 4-hour level of demand in line with the 1 day open. That is another entry with your invalidation close to the bottom wick. And the last entry is at around that wick. So there's 3 real entries there. I just feel like you just got to use your confluence around them and really decide where you want to place your money and how aggressive you want to be with these entries. And that's pretty much what I see on the lower time frame there on the 4-hour. So let's get a little bit lower here on the hourly, just see what has happened, what transpired. What's crazy is the other day I made this scenario here, and man, was that the short. I even entered aggressively short yesterday and closed way too early, which is just part of the game. It's gonna happen in trading. As far as 4-hour goes, really doesn't look like a top when it comes to current trend we're in, meaning that like even if we do reject here, sweep down this 4-hour wick at around 103.2, this could potentially be a good scalp to take out the highs, which is around where I'm looking for a short. And this for me would give me more of a trigger to short. As far as longs go, intraday, and this video will obviously be posted after this price action has occurred on the very lower time frame. So for sure, I want to just take these levels with a grain of salt when I'm speaking about like the 15-minute and time frames there under. We do have an aggressive, very, very aggressive uptrend on the lower time frame. We are looking to break down here currently, but again, we need confirmation to do so. You don't really want to enter a short here because people are logically going to place their invalidations over here. 104.8, right? That's a logical invalidation. That's where we had people look to short before the drawdown. And now people are using that as an invalidation. In my head, if we go to sweep this 103.2 level, tomorrow when you're watching this video, you'll be able to check back on the chart to see how this played out. We should either hold the 103.2 aggressively for a push up to 106.2, which is my level to short, or we should probably just keep breaking down to sweep these lows. And that would tune in with that 4-hour demand level retest. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Those are two little scenarios there. Let's go hop into the ETH charts here. I did just draw this chart a little bit ago. I was just in the middle of it. As far as level that we retested and levels that we swept, we have very good evidence and we have really good time frames on this chart to really analyze things. We have a lot of past price action, and I love that for a chart like ETH. I really love that we're trading here. I really love that people are so scared to get into ETH right now as well. So when it comes to a spot hold and a coin to invest in and accumulate, I really think that ETH is at good levels. I have no problem holding this entry anymore. My entry is actually at 3,100. It has been for the last 2 years or so. I was purchasing all throughout this bear market, and then I averaged up heavy around here. I have my entry at 3,100, and I'm comfortable holding that entry. I think it's a good level to start accumulating ETH. Even close to this wick, if you do get it, I think that's a buy. That being said, this is this weekly level of supply that we had broken into, retested, painted this lower high within this weekly level of supply before eventually coming down to the lower end of it, retesting it beautifully for a few weeks there, grinding into it before pushing up, creating another lower high, again, out of this weekly level of supply. So there's a lot of supply on this way up for ETH, and we just so happen to look to flip around this level. And this level is intriguing to me. We did resist this level previous, and we did even make lower lows in the price here this year on ETH before absolutely pushing through, closing above, and then pumping hard as hell after that. This is a very good level of confidence for me on ETH. This is a must flip level, and for me, if you assume this level to hold, you should be anticipating at least a push to 5K. You gotta assume that any push below this level should be treated as a sort of deviation kind of play. And that's how I'm treating ETH. I think that ETH has one of the most cleaner charts as far as a lot of the alts go. A lot of the alts in the market are at their lows, if not under their lows. I'm gonna be looking for that level when it comes on the higher time frame. Lower time frame, I do have this 1-day level of demand here. And I wanna actually scroll out and bring this level of supply to my attention. So it's important to just have these levels painted, realize what has happened around these higher time frame levels, and then trade around them. You don't want to really be trading in the middle. ETH right here, I'm going to draw a level right above that 1 week closure and right above that 1 week wick. I'll be coming up with a support resistance video soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to just keep my level of support resistance around like the 3930 to, let's call it 4,000 range, right? That's where we were trying to trade above and we ultimately rejected. We can then scroll down to the lower time frame. We've realized all these levels and what they mean, right? This is weekly supply that we broke it through. And this is a 1-day level of demand within the current structure that we were in that then broke down, right? So we already lost this structure a few days back. And now we're pushing up outside of that previous level of supply that we're looking to flip now. If we get a closure on the 1 day above it, I can anticipate us pushing a little bit up higher, maybe into that 3620 level, and then maybe getting a rejection out from there. I think that would be a good level to short. We have a lot of levels to flip now. So it's important to just play it as such when you're on the intraday. I'm not marrying a position. I'm here to take what I can get out of the market. If you were looking to swing for shorts, you were looking to cover on that crash down. If you weren't, I don't know where you're looking to really cover some shorts. And I'm gonna say the same thing for if you were looking to hedge long. If you were looking to hedge long on that drop, you weren't wrong. And that's what I was trying to do as well. I front ran a lot of my opinions, and I look to long in the middle. It's the nature of the game, nature of the beast. It is what it is. When you're playing on leverage, you have to understand that quick profits is good profits. On the lower time frame, a lot of this is just steep uptrend price action. If we do, again, close this 1 day above this weekly level supply, I can maybe look for some confidence to get long at around this level of demand on the 1 hour. I think this is a good level to maybe entertain a bid. at around that 33.60. I could for sure see that holding. Maybe if we, again, we have this closure, price comes down to start, and then we create a little like open candle wick to start tomorrow's open, and then we push up here, and then maybe look to entertain some shorts around here, leading into the weekend. You know, all this is just intraday thinking, how my mind works. It's important not to just aim for just hopping in trades just to hop into them. Like if I was on the chart a few hours ago and I anticipated momentum to keep pushing up here and shorts not to be safe here, then I was entering longs here, putting my invalidation below here, assuming we're gonna take more liquidity to the upside, move my stops up, and be okay with taking profit around this structure break retest, which is what we're doing right now. These are logical levels that are happening. You're following momentum as it happens. Now you're just playing in the middle. I drew these levels for a reason, and it just goes to show you that anything can happen when it comes to retesting the top end here or the bottom end here. But realizing what those levels mean before they test matters much, much more than you think. And are we gonna retest the 1 day first off momentum? Or are we gonna retest the 1 week supply before pushing back upwards? And those are some things that you have to think of when thinking intraday and about liquidity, especially if you're not in positions here. Like, I'm not in position here. So am I more or less looking to long here for a push here? Or am I looking to short a push here for a push down here? Or you're looking to do both and you're scalping. That's kind of what I'm thinking for ETH. I don't wanna make too much of a ramble on the lower time frame, but if we do start to flip above this 35.45 level, which would be the lower end of this demand, again, a level people were willing to bet. People were willing to bet here, which is why the Cascade Wick got held up. And then we broke down and it rejected. So people were willing to short the flip down, but that was off of a lot of momentum. That was off of a lot of bearish price action and heavy selling. Now we're gonna look to push back into it. So people that were in shorts previous are gonna be out of their positions. What are they gonna do thereafter? Let's take a look at SOL. SOL for me, super weak, bro. Like super weak. It was one of the first to take out their 10-10 wicks in a very heavy manner as well, might I add. We swept down this candle wick that happened on 10-10 again, closed above it. So it printed that SFP and not really getting a strong reaction. I mean, you're getting a reaction, which is what you'd want to see. But as far as your risk goes, like, you were risking just as much as you're making today. If you're taking that SFP play, you're putting your stop below the candle wick. And it's up just about what the candle wick invalidation would have been. That for me is not really something that's super bullish like another coin that I'm gonna look at after this, which would be Zcash or Aster. Two very, very, very different coins, might I add. But when we're thinking about coins that we wanna trade in the altcoin market, that's what we're thinking about. I really just have one level of interest, and that's at 174 or 76 level. If we do make it up there, I think that's a heavy short. That is, again, like previous structure, I don't think we should make it that far if we're gonna reject again. And I don't wanna sound super bearish because I'm not. I just trade intraday on what I'm seeing. I think now we're approaching swing territory when it comes for longs, closer than not, but where from? That's the important part. If you're swapping out of position around 1039, which is what BTC's at right now, why would you do it at 1039 when we have a candle wick we just painted yesterday at 99, unless you're super confident in doing that and you want to really enter a hefty position? I'm looking to enter a good position to swing for higher. Where am I gonna do that from? 101.8 seems like a better area. Under 100,000 seems like a phenomenal area around that wick retest. And coins like SOL, I feel like if we're gonna reject down intraday, we shouldn't even retest that high. Like, just weak. Not even a coin that I would be entertaining right now. Like Zcash, bro, look at this fucking chart. I made it pretty simple. It's a very simple chart here, guys. Zcash had a monster weekly demand that it printed. Month and a half, it's up 870%. Bro, it's a fucking high cap major, dude. Oh my God, how am I missing opportunities like this? All right, so this high was broken and flipped, which is a very, very significant level. Weekly left a long and heavy level of demand. On the 1 day, we're just pushing. So I just wanted to highlight what that level is really quick, because it's important to note on the higher time frame what actually happened. When it comes to this, and I'm gonna say lower time frame, but it's not like lower time frame when you're looking back to October price action to now. That's a whole month's worth of price action basically. But when you're looking at the lower time frame relative to that weekly time frame that I just showed out, and I just connected these highs and I found these flips. When we're in very uptrendy, super bullish price action, trends like this really can get you good entries, but that's all relative to the momentum you're playing. If you're looking to enter longs here, you keep your invalidation here, you're getting stopped out for a flipped entry here. All that happens in trading on leverage especially, which is why it's important to calculate your risk. But you could see just how beautiful it is once you think like the lows are in. Man, this was a beautiful bit, right? You had a higher low here, higher low here, higher low here, and they connected just beautifully. That's just a beautiful scenario for Zcash. That's a super bullish scenario at around this high. Just beautiful confluence to get into position. Really, I would just want to time this in with the low that I see on BTC, or if I think continuation on BTC, if I think we'll reject a little bit and then hold. Like, this is what I would time in. I would look at Zcash and just look to long with a low in the market. It's going to outperform, in my opinion. And you could clearly see it on drops like this. Like, look at that hourly retest. Just beautiful hourly retest. Absolutely ate and up. This is one of the most, if not the most bullish chart in crypto right now. Keep this in your radar. I'm gonna take a look at Astra as well, and I'm gonna take a look at it just because I think it's important. CZ has been hyping it up recently. It is extremely correlated to him, obviously. I was looking at 75 cents, and what I really wanted to point out was this one day level of demand that printed after CZ had bought. We printed this level of demand. And then we ended up rejecting under the level of demand before deviating and sweeping the lows. We came back above, retested his entry, and then flew. 17% candle wick if you did not catch the bottom and you just played an order block flip, like I mentioned in my order block video, guys. Previous demand, flip into an order block based off momentum low in the market. That's how you do it. And that's important to watch, man. Astra is one of those coins that when the market bottoms is gonna bounce hard as fuck, and it's important to get a good entry for it, especially when you're playing leverage. Make sure that you're loosening up that wrist on a coin like this, because these coins have wild swings. And that's just something that I want to point out. Always have where CZ bought around the chart. That could be used as a good pivot line. Where the money's playing is where it's going to play again. Keep that in your mind. Make sure you're chasing liquidity the right way. If you appreciate all the content I've been posting, guys, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know what type of videos you want to see next. If you want to support me further, make sure you use those referral links down below in the description. See you guys in the next. Peace.